Okay guys, today we're going to see if we can get the old barn find Firebird started. It's been sitting for years. The person I bought it from said the fuel pump is probably not working, but we're not sure. It could be the relay, fuel pump, bad injector shorting out. It could be a number of things. So we're going to test a few things. First thing I'm going to look at is the relays on it. And we're going to just crank it and see if it's got any codes in it. The other day I oiled the door hinge. It was very dry. It's squeaking. It looks like the little roller mechanism there, the bushing is bad in it. And that for a car that has 272,000 miles on it, it's actually in pretty good shape. The chair is pretty rough, but the door still opens and everything. So take a look here. Make sure it's not a issue with the key. Gonna look at the dash here. Turn it on. The security light went out. So I'm thinking it's not a key issue, because this car has the resistor chip in the key, so that's something to check for right away. Push the clutch in. And we'll crank it and see what these gauges look like. It does crank over. Doesn't seem to be building any oil pressure. Battery voltage is a little low. There's a lot of glare on the gauges. Looks like you got fuel in the tank. Let's see if the tachometer is showing any RPMs. Yep, it is. So I'm thinking the spark is good. I'm gonna check the fuel pump relay and see if it's clicking. Okay, the gas struts are gone, so I'm going to use a board to hold the hood. The other day, I'll hold the hood hinges. That's opened a lot better. Before I could barely get the hood open. It's so stiff. But what we're going to do now, we'll look at these 3 relays here. Right here by the firewall. I know one is for the MAF. I'm not sure which one's which, to tell you the truth. Thinking this is the fuel pump. That's the fuel pump. And one's for MAF to burn off. Which this? Yes, it does have has a mass airflow. Wasn't sure for 89. Yeah, it has a mass airflow right here. So that one of those relays for the mass airflow. One is a fuel pump. I'm not sure what the other one. It could be the cooling fan. One is. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the key. I'm going to listen, see if we get a click out of these relays. Just going to set the camera right here. I'm going to play it back and see if I hear a click. Okay, another thing I'm going to check is the fuel pump fuse, which is located over here, right by the charcoal canister and the air filter right here. This is the fuse right here. See that? Right there. And, you know, it looks like it's not pushed in all the way. Looks like it's not clipped. Let's take a look, see if it's blown. Somebody may have had this out before. Let's see. Fuse looks good in there, as far as I can tell. Someone may have replaced it. Okay, I just pulled the connector off that relay, and it's all gummed up with dirt and oil. So somebody like to keep the oil rag here in a funnel, and it leaked all over this relay and the wiring. So what I'm going to do is clean that with some electrical cleaner, clean the relay contacts, and we'll see if that's it. Okay, just look at all the trash that's accumulated here because of that oil funnel and rag. So there's another kind of a, it's been a paper towel. Clean all this mess out of here. It's all the leaves and stuff. Oh yeah, it's filled up. Like you can grow plants in there. So much dirt built up in this corner. Probably have to take the hose and wash it out in here. Oh, the oil too. It's just oily, dirty mess in that corner. Well, I guarantee you won't have any rust in there. But mainly what I'm going to do is clean this relay off. Get all the oil off of there. Oil's not a good conductor. So I'll clean those terminals. Alright. Oh yeah, that's so much better. Just wondering if something melted here. Look a little rough. That's pretty clean now. I'll let that dry. Let that dry good. Okay, I was thinking this was the fuel pump relay, but I think it's this one here. So I heard it click the last time I flipped the switch. So I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to put my finger on here. I'm going to just turn the switch. Yep, I felt it click. And then it clicked off about 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds later. So that's what it's trying to prime the fuel pump. So it's not the relay, I don't think. Most likely, I'm going to have to take it apart, and it's the fuel pump. Okay, so I figured out which relay was the fuel pump relay. I disconnected from the bracket, and this one is also all gummed up with oil inside it and in the connector, so I'm going to clean that out. I'll see if the fuel pump turns on. Okay, since I'm working myself, I'm gonna leave the camera here and then turn the key, and I'll see if I can hear, I'll play it back and I'll see if I can hear the fuel pump if it's running. Okay, we're gonna try a little starting fluid. Spray a little bit of starting fluid in there. And it kind of is leaking back out. Let's see if it cars. Alright, fired right up, and fuel pressure went right up too, and voltage. And mahogany wasp over here trying to get me. It's pissed off. There was a mahogany wasp nest yesterday. I was out here oiling the hinges and everything. There was a nest back down right in here by these relays. And I knocked that nest out. I sprayed it with some spray and knocked it out. Or I think this must be one of them wasps that goes with that nest there. He's harassing me. Hasn't stung me yet. Well, looks like it'll run. I just need some fuel. So what I'm going to do is hook up my fuel pressure gauge just to verify there's no fuel coming up. If there is, we'll see what kind of pressure. There's a Schrader valve right at the back right here, right at the back of the intake. It's connected to the fuel rail. Take that cap off. You can put a gauge on there and check your fuel pressure. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to get the Firebird, since it started on some of the starting fluid. I hooked up the fuel injection cleaner canister, so I filled this up with gas to about halfway, and I dialed the pressure up. It's around 25-ish. So this is pressurized with air from the air compressor, and then the fuel goes through here. There's a shutoff valve, and then on the back of the motor here there's a Schrader valve that goes right into the fuel rail. This is normally where you would check your fuel pressure at. Now you got to make sure there's no leaks, because here's your distributor right there. So you get a little spark and you get a fuel leak there, that'd be bad. I did have to pull this line off. I got the fitting nice and tight there. And this is a quick coupler that just kind of snaps onto that fitting. We're gonna, since it started on the starting fluid, see if this works with the gas. See if it cranks up. I have a feeling it's going to fire up. That's running pretty rough. So the main reason I got for all this work here, I just want to make sure it's fuel pump or the relay or something like that that's causing it not to start. Obviously it had a fuel problem, but I also want to make sure the motor's good, since it has 272,000 miles on it. The body's pretty solid, other than all the surface rust, and the paint's deteriorated bad. It's starting to run down. I'm going to turn the pressure up a little bit on this. Let's see what happens. Now if you run pressure too low, or too high I should say, what it'll do is it'll return all the fuel to the tank. It'll empty this right out in like a minute. I don't have much fuel in there. It may run out pretty quick. But normally your pressure should be for this motor 35, 40. And I'm running a little low. Let's turn that up. It may be running out of fuel already. Turn that pressure up a little bit, see if it runs any better. Might be towards the end of the fuel, because I didn't put a whole lot in there. Maybe half a pep or something. Probably filled up that line and that was about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's out of gas now. So now that I know it actually runs, it's got compression and spark and everything. I'll run some of this fuel injection cleaner through there just to clean the injectors. So looks like I'll be changing a fuel pump. Alright, I got another wasp. I don't have any wasp spray, but this ant and roach spray seems to work fine. You can get them to sit still. There's a couple I got earlier, they landed there. Spray works pretty good.